What in the world? What in the world, boss? Your boy Big Low Kuntry. Hope everybody doing good. It's Saturday afternoon. We just chilling out, you know. So basically, you know me, I'm working, doing homework, everything else. But I'm just so fired up about this NFL draft, man. I was like, well, wait a minute. What in the world? We need to go ahead and sit down and see what we can do about just looking at all the NFL teams. So what we're gonna do today, we're actually gonna look at the draft for the first round for every NFL team. So we're going to do a mock draft today for every team in the NFL in the first round. So, we're just going to kind of fill it out, see what we got going on. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be the last one. So, if you're the Cincinnati Bengals and you don't like the pick that I make, don't get mad at me. Just come back for next time and we'll try to do it again. What's going on, Coach Ronnie? Hope you're doing good. Much love to you. Think about Ronnie. She's a sweet old girl. Sweet old girl. Oh, man. So, one of the main reasons we decided to do this is because, as all of y'all know, the Miami Dolphins and the 49ers made a trade yesterday. The San Francisco 49ers actually moved up to that third pick in the NFL draft. Terra Artist 404. What in the world, Bo? What's going on with you? What's going on, Coach Asia? So the 49ers moved up in the NFL draft to that third pick, and now that kind of threw everything that threw everything all over the place. We have a situation. So now, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you the take that Coach Ronnie told me just a while ago. And I was getting ready for this. We're actually going to get to that point as we move along in the draft. But man, I all I gotta say is what in the world. That's all I gotta say. Let's go ahead and get on to it. See what we got going on, and we're gonna fill it out together as a coaching staff. So let's go ahead and pull this up here. All right, so we have, of course, Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. Now, let's be honest, guys. We know that it's pretty much no question. Who's going first in the draft. Everybody's been getting naked with Trevor Lawrence for the last 2 years. For the last 2 Christmases, everybody's been getting naked with Trevor Lawrence. So we need to go ahead and take him off the board. Let him go ahead and go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's going on, Zeke? Hope you're doing good, family. Hope you're doing good. We just chilling out, doing this NFL draft, whole first round. So like I said, if anybody has any ideas of, where they think people might go to, I'm more than happy to consider them. Big Low door always open. All right, so let's go ahead and take Trevor Lawrence off the board. So with the first overall pick, Trevor Lawrence going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. So this right here is the whole question as far as what's going to happen in the draft. So we got the Jets second, and we got the 49ers. The 49ers are third. Now, we know that both of these teams need quarterbacks. Well, you ask a lot of San Francisco fans, legitimately think, and I don't know what it is. Maybe San Francisco fans and Falcons fans think alike, or half and half, because it's one of those cases where, a lot of the fan bases on both teams are saying, well, wait a minute, we don't need another quarterback. We got Jimmy Garoppolo and Matt Ryan. We got those two guys. We don't need another quarterback. Now, as far as the San Francisco 49ers, we know good and doggone well. I'm assuming that they didn't move up like this to get somebody who wasn't a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't make this trade for somebody who isn't a quarterback. Coach Terra 404 said that San Francisco 49ers definitely need another quarterback. So the question is, who's going where? We know the Jets are probably going to get a quarterback. They're probably going to trade, in my opinion, I think the Jets are going to trade Sam Darnold on draft night. So the rumor is, and this is just a rumor, this is just smoke and whispers. The rumor is that the 49ers tried to trade up with the Jets to get the second pick, but the Jets weren't having it. So if the Jets weren't having it, I'm hearing that the Jets were trying to get Zach Wilson. I heard that Zach Wilson is their guy. Coach Ronnie said that she heard Jimmy G might be going back to the Patriots. So let's go ahead with the second pick. The Jets select Zach Wilson. Go ahead and send him on to the Jets. And Terrell Artist 404, I heard the exact same thing. I heard that the 49ers are probably going to be going all in on Justin Fields. So a lot of Atlanta Falcons fans might be turning into 49ers fans because they really wanted Justin Fields. So let's go ahead with the third pick. 49ers take Justin Fields off the board. All right. Now, Atlanta Falcons fans, y'all don't get upset now. Y'all don't get too upset. Go Pepper. What in the world, Bo? Is that Thomas Dimitrov left our Falcons so capped that they go to KFC to lick other people's fingers? That's rough right there, Bo. That's rough. They got to go to KFC to lick other folks' fingers. Man. Well, I was talking to Coach Roney. I said, you know what, Coach, I don't know if it's one of those situations where we're going to do trades. So basically, after this scenario where you got the top three quarterbacks going off the board with the top three picks, and the next best quarterback, a lot of people think could be Trey Lance. I don't know if it's one of those cases where we would legitimately take a quarterback right now. Now, I guess the next question is, who would you take? Now, I know everybody's getting naked for Penei Sewell or Penei Sewell, however you want to pronounce it. But he's a tackle. Unless you kick Caleb McGarry inside, there's really no need to get another tackle, or unless you just make Caleb McGarry a swing tackle. We know that Matt Gono is probably going to be playing that left guard position for the Falcons. So there's really no need, to kind of go out on a limb to get that tackle in this situation. Michael Parsons, he's a great player, but it's one of those cases, ATM, what in the world, Bo? It's one of those cases where he has these social issues and he has these behavior issues. I don't know if that's somebody I want to fool with. Now, we also got to consider that, we also need a cornerback in this draft. That's definitely a big need as well. And we need a pass rusher. A lot of people getting naked for this guy right here, though, man. Everybody's getting naked for Kyle Pitts. Everybody said that he's a generational talent. Decisions. So I'm thinking right now, just based off of need, and we're probably going to do another draft later, guys, where, we actually make some trades and have people move around in the draft. But right now, as a need, we're going to take Michael Parsons off the board, okay? All right, so we took Michael Parsons off the board. The Cincinnati Bengals, the reason why they were in the situation they were in last year, because let's be honest, your boy, what's the Bengals quarterback? I can't remember the kid's name. Anyway, he was balling out before he got hurt. He needs a tackle. We know that AJ Green. We know that AJ Green's got it's gone to the Cardinals. You know, he's gone to greener pastures and everything. You know, Joe Burrow. What I'm sitting here thinking. So we know that he needs to tackle AJ Green. He's gone to the Cardinals. They're trying to rebuild this team. You got to make sure you take care of your assets. You got to have your insurance policy. So, I mean, it just makes common sense. Penei Sewell goes to the Bengals. All right. So we got Penei Sewell going to the Bengals. All right. So this is what Coach Roney told me now. This is what Coach Roney told me that kind of made my ears stand up. So Coach Roney told me that the rumor is, and you ain't hearing this from me, you're hearing this from Coach Roney. The rumor is that the Dolphins are getting all these first round picks so they can make that run at Deshaun Watson. That's what that's what she said. She said, I don't know how good her sources are, but that's what she told me now. She said that's the rumor. That the Miami Dolphins are amassing all these first round picks so they can make a run at Deshaun Watson. Now, unfortunately, in this draft simulation, we're not trading players for picks. So, you know, we're just going to see, this is a what if in this particular situation as far as, you know, who they could get on this team. Now, it's saying that they need to tackle, a guard, interior defensive lineman, and an edge rusher. Now, one thing that I would consider, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Dolphins were running that 3-4 defense. One thing now I would consider, and we know how a lot of teams like to kind of go out and get the guy who kind of is from that area. Your boy Gregory Rousseau, but you know he's a little bit far down on the board. Now we know that the Dolphins also have another pick at 18. So Rousseau, he might legitimately be there. Now, moving forward, we know that the Dolphins need somebody to help that offensive line, because we definitely don't want Tua to be in the same situation he was previously in. Now, I'm thinking that the Dolphins might make a run at Rashawn Slater, because we know that in the draft, whenever a certain position starts going off the board, people start panicking. Next thing you know, that position's taken all up, just like we've got here in the first three picks. The first three picks, you got Lawrence, Wilson, and Fields. People starting to get naked and go crazy for picks already before the draft even started. 49ers, they done made their trade. They already know who they getting. So let's go ahead and get Rashawn Slater off the board to help with that offensive line for the Miami Dolphins. Now, you see here, the Lions. Oh, man, the quad said no Lance. No Lance. Nah. So, as you see here, the Lions, they need everything. So, with Kenny Golladay leaving, and I believe Marvin Hall is still there. As a matter of fact, let's take a look here to see. Let's take a look at this Lions depth chart. See who all they got on this squad. Let's see here. All right. So at wide receiver, their wide receivers are Tyrell Williams, Rashard Perriman, and Tom Kennedy. They got a beast at tight end with TJ Hockenson, but they definitely need a wide receiver. So looks like the Lions are going to be getting Jamar Chase. He's the best wide receiver in the draft. Best wide receiver in the draft. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Man, look, I tell y'all all the time, what's in my cup is in my cup. Now, it might be water and it might be moonshine. But if you see me smiling, that just means I'm happy to see you. Oh, man. As a matter of fact, y'all tell me, because we get ready to go to this divisional rival pick here, y'all let me know what y'all eating on and sipping on today. Y'all sipping on water? Y'all, I just had some breakfast. I had some grits and eggs. In the words of my grandma, I had some sausage. But y'all tell me what y'all sipping and eating on today, man. While I'm looking at these picks for the rival Carolina Panthers. Now, Carolina, they're a little bit in a weird situation as well, because I know that they let Curtis Samuel go. And, a lot of people are thinking that Teddy Bridgewater just ain't the guy. Now, Deshaun Watson, he's also there. A lot of people's thinking that they're going to make a run at Deshaun Watson as well. But I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, man, do they have the capital to trade for Deshaun Watson? Because from what I heard that they might try to trade Christian McCaffrey and some other picks for Deshaun Watson. Now, I don't know if they would benefit from that. Coach Ronda said that she got some avocado toast. There ain't nothing wrong. Man, let me tell y'all something, man. Coach Ronda about to drive me crazy with avocado toast. Every day I wake up, it's avocado toast. I told Coach Ronda I need something different. I need something new in my life. She about to kill me with avocado toast. Seahawks Eddie, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with your family? Hope you're doing good. If I'm not mistaken, Seahawks Eddie, I'm hearing that the Seahawks are talking about trading up and getting back into this first round, because they definitely got some holes that they need to fill as well. Definitely. Now, I don't know. I'm just looking at the Carolina Panthers situation, and I'm thinking Matt Rule. So Matt Rule, he's the hot shot offensive coordinator. Excuse me. Matt Rule, he's the hot shot offensive coordinator and everything. And it's one of those cases where, does he actually want to bring in his own guy and mold his own guy? Or is it one of those situations where Matt Rule wants to kind of get somebody like he tried to do with the Teddy Bridgewater, who I think could be even better? Everybody always gets down on Teddy, poor little Teddy. Or, is he going to try to see what he could do this year with Teddy Bridgewater? If it doesn't work, then he'll try to do something next year. Or he's trying to go ahead and, get some pieces to put around him. Seahawks Eddie said, we won't be drafting until the second round. Okay, I know that y'all didn't have a first round pick, but I didn't know if y'all were actually going to try to make any moves to get back in the first. I heard that y'all might be, So I'm seriously thinking because Matt Rule really loved using Curtis Samuel last year. I'm thinking that the Seahawks are going to get the Seahawks. I'm thinking that the Panthers are going to get Jalen Waddle. I'm just stepping out there. I know Coach Terrell Artist 404 does not like that because he's a huge Alabama fan and he's a huge Falcons fan. Now he's going to have to deal with Jalen Waddle for the next few years. So, Seahawks said, but we likely always trade in the first round. Yeah, y'all definitely do. Now, the thing is, now we're on the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, one of those situations, do they actually need a quarterback? Is it one of those situations where they actually do need a quarterback with Drew Lock? we know that John Elway, he's a mover and shaker. He likes to try to get things done. He's been on the search for his quarterback ever since, Peyton Manning left. He has a lot of holes that he needs to fill on that team. Buck Skull Gang in the house. What's going on with your family? I'm actually getting to that, Bo. I'm actually getting to that. Whenever I was doing my dry runs, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it, boy. I can't give it up, man. Much love to Buck Skull Gang in the house, man. They got a great show over there. Definitely, I want to try to collaborate with y'all sometime, fam. Want to collaborate with y'all sometime. But AJ Evans, what in the world, man? What in the world? AJ Evans said line. Now, I think it might be one of those situations where because we know that they have their tight ends, and this whole time, a lot of people think that Kyle Pitts would have been coming off the board by now. No, a lot of Falcons fans wanted Kyle Pitts, but I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to go now. I think that right now the Broncos are good at wide receiver. I just don't think that they're going to go out on a limb. I don't think they're going to go out on a limb and legitimately get a quarterback. Now, let's consider this, however, that this whole situation that they got going on with Von Miller is kind of weird and it's kind of iffy. So I think Owusu Koromoa, I think that he might be the guy. The AJ said, yeah, the Broncos, they already got their tight ends and Fant. Noah Fant, he's a beast. So I think the Broncos are actually gonna, try to see if they can figure something out because Von Miller, he's not going to be there. And teams, they always create their own identities. And the thing about Jeremiah, this kid, he's a dog that'll hunt. You know what I'm saying? He's a dog that'll hunt. So yeah, man, I think we're going to go ahead and get him to go to the Broncos. Now, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Now, I think that it's one of those cases with the Cowboys that, they got Dak. They got this crazy wide receiver core. Buck Skullgate said that he thinks that the Bucs are going to go QB, linebacker, or running back. Now, I do see that y'all just re-signed. Fournette. Coach Ronan, she gets naked for Tim Tebow. I don't know why. What in the world? What in the world is she talking about with Tim Tebow? She loves some Tim Tebow. Ever since she's seen him running in the rain, she gets naked for Tim Tebow. You know what? I don't know if the Bucs would go for running back. I definitely think quarterback would be an option. Whenever y'all got Josh Rosen, I thought that y'all had the answer there. But I see that y'all kind of moved on from him. So you know what? Oh, I'm on the Cowboys right now. I was just talking to the Buck Skull Gang in the house. So, but Coach Ronda getting on to me, telling me I need to get back to the draft. So, Buck Skull Gang, I'm finna get there. Now, with the Cowboys, I definitely think that we know how Jerry is. Jerry, he likes to make the splash picks. And we know that they got all these crazy pass catchers. Now, once you go in on a quarterback like a Dak Prescott, you got to consider, the same way they went in with, a quarterback like a Matt Ryan and, other situations, you have to consider that you got to put the weapons around him. Now, Dak Prescott, I think he has the best weapons in the league. With the Zeke Elliott, he's not the Zeke that he was 2 years ago, but with a Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, would it make sense to put would it legitimately make sense to put Kyle Pitts on the Cowboys? What's going on, Hayes Thomas? I see you in here, Bo. What's good with your family? What's good with you? Now, we know that they still got Randy Gregory. Now, I legitimately think that the Cowboys might go. See, this is tough because I don't know if y'all see this here, but a lot of Falcons fans see this. DeMonte Casey and Keanu Neal, they've already been picked up by the Cowboys. It's just a matter of time before Dante Fowler is playing with the Cowboys as well. But I know they're saying that the Cowboys need a safety. I think they really kind of resolved their safety issues. Cole on the 6 says, "Yo, I'm thinking that the Cowboys might go with the cornerback. I'm legitimately thinking that they're going to go with the quarterback. And we know that Dan Quinn, he likes the long, rangy cornerbacks. So I'm thinking that the Cowboys are going to go with a Patrick Surtain. So let's go ahead and send them Patrick Surtain. Now, look, moving forward, guys, Kyle Pitts is still falling. He's a generational talent that everybody's been talking about. Devontae Smith is still falling. Trey Lance, he's still falling. Now we're on the New York Giants. They need an interior lineman. They need a tackle. Now, I honestly feel like Darisaw from Virginia Tech, I think he's a great tackle, but there was another tackle in here that I was really interested in, Tevin Jenkins. He's also a great tackle. Now's that point in Daniel Jones's career where he needs to decide, where the Giants need to decide if they need to invest in him the same way they invested in Dak. Now, they went out and they got all the pieces. They got all these weapons for him to work with. And don't forget that Saquon's coming back. But now you got to protect them. You don't want to do like the Falcons did. You got to protect them. Do like the Bucks did. Don't do like the Falcons did. So I'm thinking, because this kid right here, and I got to show him love. He's from Virginia Tech all day. You look at it, they said he's an ox of an OT. Defenders move when he hits them. And most important thing that I see here is he has power in the hands. So if it's one thing that I know, is that the Giants, they're one of those teams. Every team has an identity. The Falcons, they draft weapons. The Steelers, they always draft, great linebackers. They always have good defenses. What's going on, Cartier? I see you in here, man. Coach Ronnie said, name Dante has job security right now, I guess. AJ Evans says, so how about guards since Zeitler is gone? I honestly think this might be the draft, AJ, where the Giants are going to try to solidify their offensive line. I think that they might go guard in the second round. I honestly feel like that could be the case. What's going on, Asia? She said she's back for the first time. Asia said, what did she miss? So, Asia, we just got through the first 10 picks. And, quarterbacks went the first 3 picks. The Falcons took Micah Parsons. And, in this draft, we're not making any trades. The Bengals took Sewell. The Dolphins took Slater. Detroit took Jamar Chase. Jalen Waddle went to the Panthers. And the Broncos took Owusu Karamoah. And the Cowboys took Patrick Surtain. Cole on the stick said, who do I got? The 49ers taking? I got the 49ers actually taking Justin Fields. I heard that the 49ers were trying to get the second pick. And I think that they were trying to get that second pick so they could get Zach Wilson, but the Jets wouldn't trade with them. So I'm thinking that they're actually taking Justin Fields. Now, for the Giants with this 11th pick, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that the Giants are going to take Christian Darrisaw. Christian Darrisaw is going to the Giants. Oh, man. Cole on the Stick says, we need Wilson. Look, I think Wilson is a great, he's my favorite quarterback in the draft. I think Wilson is a great quarterback. Now we're on the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. James Williams says, I like Micah Parsons if we have to draft there. Yeah, I think Micah Parsons, everybody's talking about his character issues. Hopefully, the Falcons don't continue to go based off of that Falcons filter and just get boys that can play ball. That's all you got to do. Now with the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. I think that Jalen Hurts, they're going to legitimately give Jalen Hurts a shot. So since they're giving Jalen Hurts a shot, Zach Ertz is gone. I know that they need a wide receiver. Let's look at their depth chart. I know that they need a wide receiver, but I don't know. I know that there are a lot of good wide receivers in this draft, and I honestly feel like that's hurting the wide receivers getting picked at the top, So moving forward, we see that they have Jalen Reagor and Greg Ward and Travis Fulgham. All these are number 2 and number 3 guys. They need a number 1 guy. Now, Dallas Goedert, I think he's highly underrated, to be completely honest with y'all. But they need a number 1 guy. Now, Rashad Bateman is very underrated. Very underrated wide receiver. He's a number 1 wide receiver. 6'2", 210. Now, they said that he's not the fastest guy out there. And maybe the Eagles do need a burner. Maybe they do need a burner. Ooh, Bucks Gang said Deshaun Lattimore might be getting suspended. Wow. Man getting suspended for stealing stolen property. What in the world, Bo? Man. So they said that he has that basketball background to his game, and he gets great release off the ball. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Me as a coach, if I have a scrambling kind of quarterback, I need guys that can get up the field, because you're going to have a lot of plays that break down. And, if I have a scrambling quarterback, we're not going to be going I'm not going to say that because I feel like that's stereotypical. I'm not going to say that we're not going to be going as much as off of precision, because Jalen Hurts might be that guy who could legitimately run and throw the ball accurately with the great time and can actually read defenses the way that he's supposed to. So I'm thinking, because they got all these big guys in Philadelphia already. AJ Evans says, would they give up on Goddard? Man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm thinking they're going to go with Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, welcome to the Eagles. I'm thinking they're going to go with Devontae Smith. Definitely. Now, everybody that's in the chat, I appreciate y'all for chilling out with me. We get together and we chill out like this all the time. Make sure that you do a country boy a favor and hit that like button. And also, if you ain't yet, make sure you subscribe to Big Low Kuntry Sports, man. It's free. Do a country boy a favor and subscribe, man. I definitely appreciate it. Man, so Los Angeles Chargers. They're also in another situation where they kind of have the weapons. You got to make sure that you take care, give your quarterback what he needs. Give your quarterback what he needs to be successful in the NFL. Now, we know that they got Mike Williams, but we also know that the Chargers did let Hunter Henry go. They also have Keenan Allen, very underrated wide receiver in the NFL. People don't give the man the respect that he deserves. They legitimately don't. But your quarterback also has to be protected too. Give your quarterback all the things he needs, some of the things he wants. You'll be all right. I don't got the depth chart on here for him. Huh. Yeah, so if you give your quarterback all the things he needs, some of the things you want, you'll be okay. Now, I feel like they need to make sure that they take care of your boy Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, and yeah, you're definitely right. Their offensive line is getting old. They're aging. Justin Herbert, he's going to be a star in this league for a long time. He's going to be a star for a long time. So I'm legitimately thinking they might get Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State to help protect Justin Herbert. Because anytime you got a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback that gets hurt, then you got to start making decisions. You got to start making life decisions. Coach Ronich, you putting the hard eyes up here. Look, I don't know why my wife got a crush on all these quarterbacks. I guess I need to go to the park and throw a ball around to see if I could get some love too. What in the world? Oh man, Sid Falcon said, "Hey coaches, how's everyone? Pitch with Herbert would be really nice. I mean, that would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. I ain't gonna lie to you, but they got to make sure that you protect him too. You got to give him all the things he needs and some of the things he wants. You know. Now, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota, they need a lot of different things, to be completely honest with you. Now, last year, they did have some trouble getting to the quarterback. And let's be honest, Lindsey Hunter, he wants up out of there. So I'm thinking that Minnesota might go with a pass rusher. And I'm legitimately thinking that pass rusher might be Gregory Rousseau. You know, Minnesota over the last few years, and like I said, every team has an identity. You know, every team has an identity. And Minnesota's identity is they draft good pass rushers. You know? So it's one of those situations, man. So I'm going to go with Rousseau to the Minnesota Vikings. All right. Now, in this draft, like I said, we didn't make any trades. I think that the New England Patriots are in prime position to trade up in this draft. Now, I legitimately think that the Patriots are going to go for a quarterback. And I think they're going to go for a quarterback that matches the same offensive scheme that they're running now. And if you do that, I think they're going to go with Trey Lance. I legitimately think they're going to go with Trey Lance. You know, they already got their tight ends. So Kyle Pitts is going to stay on the board. It's going to be one of those cases where Kyle Pitts keeps falling. He keeps sitting in the green room. Camera going to keep panning on Kyle Pitts. You know, I think Trey Lance is going to go off the board right now. So Trey Lance, welcome to the Patriots. All right. This is a match made in heaven, guys. This is a match made in heaven right here, Bo. You got this new look offense where you got maybe the top 3 best wide receiver in the league. You got him, you got Christian Kirk. So you got DeAndre, you got Christian Kirk, and you got Adriel Jeremiah Green. You got Chase Edmonds in the back. You got your boy, Kyler Murray throwing the ball around. Why not add Kyle Pitts? Why not? Are we in a situation right now where we obviously see that the Cardinals, they're going. Look, they're going all in. They pushing all their chips to the middle of the table. It's a match made in heaven. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Kyle Pitts, welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona, we'll see y'all in the playoffs next year. We'll definitely see y'all in the playoffs next year. All right, so Las Vegas Raiders. I paused because I definitely want to say Oakland Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. So the Raiders, they obviously need some sort of line because everybody's talking about how they've been trading all of their linemen away, letting all of their linemen go. And, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So moving forward, they need to get somebody to protect whoever the quarterback is going to be for the Raiders. Now, I'm thinking that, and I love this Vera Tucker kid out of USC. We'll just take a look at him. They said that he looked. And AJ Evans says, wasn't the Cardinals secondary suspect? Yeah, their secondary was definitely suspect now. But you got to remember that this secondary class is deep this year. I think the Cardinals are. Kyle Pitts is going to keep falling, and I think he's going to fall into their lap. Now, this is just a projection, so don't get down on me now. Don't get down on the old dog now. This is just a projection. Man, but I definitely think that you know, it's one of those situations where you know, they need to kind of do something. Now, the Raiders, they need to make some moves. They need to try to see what they can do about taking care of whoever's going to be the quarterback. I think this year they might, you know, see what they can do about staying where they're at with quarterback. But look, David Carr needs to go ahead and count his days. His days are pretty much done. His days are pretty much done. What's going on, Peter? Much love to you. Everybody in the coaching staff, y'all make sure y'all welcome Peter to the stream. Oh, Mad Max and Nick Bolton would be scary. You're definitely right about that. It would be scary together now. Now, I'm just thinking here. They do need some protection up front. You know, we got to make sure that, and we've learned over the years that if there's one thing that people are going to draft at a very, very high spot in the draft, it's going to be, you know, those guys that protect the quarterback and those guys that open up those rushing lanes. I'm thinking that they might go for somebody to help their offensive line, but we also got to remember who we're talking about. We got to remember that we're talking about Chucky. You know, sometimes Chucky makes some questionable decisions. Let's be honest with you. Sometimes Chucky makes some questionable decisions. Now, look, just like Peter said, Caleb Ferry, he is still on the board. Who would have thought he would have dropped this far? You know what? Let's go ahead and go with Caleb Ferry. Caleb Farley. All right, so the Dolphins, they're back on the board. Now, we know originally the Dolphins took Rashawn Slater, that big tackle out of Northwestern. You know, they got a lot of holes that they need to fill. So they need to make sure that they take care of the things that they need to take care of. Now, Devontae Parker, they got Devontae Parker and Grant still in Miami. They still got Gesicki, who's, you know, very underrated tight end, right? So who's to say that the Dolphins don't go out and step out on a limb to go ahead and try to shore up those weapons? Now, The Dolphins, as a matter of fact, let's take a look at their depth chart. Because, I mean, the Dolphins, they're a very interesting team. That defense really showed up last year. Now, they could definitely, that secondary was definitely game busters. But I'm thinking, since you're amassing all these picks, sometimes you kind of sometimes you start getting cocky. You know, when you got so much money in your pocket, my mama always told me about, you know, you get all that money in your pocket, it'll burn a hole in your pocket. Next thing you know, you're making decisions that you shouldn't be making. I'm thinking, I don't know if Mike Gaskin is the guy that they want, but I'm also thinking that they may try to make a move because as far as so Christian Wilkins, we got to remember, since they're running the 3-4 defense, or since they were running the 3-4 defense, you know, it's one of those situations where you're in. He's not going to do all that now. You know, he's going to eat up your blockers and kind of open things up for your linebackers. So I'm thinking, and AJ Evans, he put it in here. It's kind of the same thing I was thinking. You know, Bateman's still on the board, and I think that he's the best wide receiver out here. So, you know, whenever you got it to spin, you make decisions that you don't, you know, that you don't necessarily make. Oh man. Hey y'all make sure that y'all show Joy some love. Apparently she had to go to the ER. So coaches, make sure that you show Coach Joy some love. I just read a message. Much love to you, Coach Joy. I hope you get to feeling better soon. Definitely. Yeah, so I'm thinking that Bateman might be the guy. I'm thinking Bateman might be the guy that might go, but man, I don't know, man. Christian Barmore's still on the board, man. Question is, he's 6'5", 310. I don't know if he really fit that scheme that the Dolphins would be running. So I tell you what, let's go with Bateman. Bateman's gonna go off the board. Brandon Griswold, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with your family? Coach Rona says she hopes you feel better, Joy. All right, so Chicago Bears. Man, boy, I don't know what to say about these Bears, man. Nick Foles, you know, that whole situation, that Nick Foles, Mr. Trubisky project, that didn't go well. Now they got Andy Dalton up there in Chicago. See what they got going on with Andy Dalton. Now, they said that Andy Dalton is their starter. You know? Now, moving forward, the question is, how are they going to support Andy Dalton? David Montgomery, I think he's a really, really good running back. He's not getting enough touches. And, you know, oh yeah, I forgot they signed Damian Williams. Now, look, up front, we know that Chicago Bears, they're one of the best in the league. And I know that they did get rid of Fuller. So they got Jalen Johnson, Robert Quinn, and they also have Desmond Trufant for their cornerbacks. So in this particular situation, I think that the Bears, I think they could legitimately go wide receiver, or they could go cornerback. Now, J.C. Horn is a really good cornerback because, and look, you got to remember that you don't know what you're going to get out of Desmond Trufant. Like we've seen the last couple of years, he hasn't really done too much of nothing, you know. So I'm sitting here like, you know, what you going to get out of him now? Mooney, people sleep on Mooney. Mooney's a really good wide receiver. Really, really good wide receiver. I'm thinking that we're going to go with J.C. Horn for the Chicago Bears. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong. What in the world? I'm looking at the Bears. The Washington football team is actually on the clock. What am I doing? The Washington football team is on the clock. My bad, y'all. So with Washington, y'all know Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick's on the Fitzpatrick. He's running things now. He is the captain now. And look, we know that last year that defense came to ball. Now, as far as what they're going to do moving forward, we know that they have a Scary Terry. We know that he's a beast. You know, he's a complete wide receiver. A lot of people worried about him because they didn't think he was, you know, at that level. But he's definitely a baller. And, you know, they picked up Curtis Samuel. And they have Adam Humphries. Now, Logan Thomas is a huge disappointment. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. He's a huge disappointment. Also, they need some help at that tackle position. Now, I'm thinking as far as this Washington football team goes, we don't know. I think that they might trade for a quarterback. I mean, in true Ryan Fitzpatrick luck, they would actually trade for a quarterback. I don't know if they would legitimately get one. But this is actually pretty interesting because could this be one of those cases where Mac Jones could go to the Washington football team? The thing is that they really need some protection. They need a tackle. They need a top-notch tackle. Now, originally, I was thinking Darisaw would have fell down to this Washington football team, but just after reviewing and looking at, you know, just looking at everything, I could see why. I can see why he went where he went to the New York Giants. Now, Elijah Vera Tucker, he's a really, really good tackle. Now, there was another tackle on here. Dylan Radins. Only problem is that he went North Dakota State. So people look at that and say, oh, well, he might not be a top-notch guy because he went to North Dakota State. You know, that's one of those cases. Guy like that, you know, I can see taking in the second round. Now, taking him 19th overall, that's, you know, that's one of those things. AJ Evans says, you give Fitzpatrick all the weapons, he needs to make a Pro Bowl to make the Hall of Fame. Man, I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, look, we all know that Fitzpatrick is a great quarterback. He just has terrible luck. Terrible luck. So we got all these wide receivers coming off the board. So we know that they got Scary Terry, and we know that they got Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries in the slot. People sleep on him as a slot wide receiver. I don't know if I would take any of these tight ends in the first round. The only one I would take is Kyle Pitts. So I think we need to just make sure that we take care of him. Let's make sure that we block for the guy. So we're going to go with Vera Tucker. We're going to go ahead and block for him and, you know, keep on moving forward. Now, when it comes to when it comes to the Chicago Bears and where they're going to go moving forward. I honestly think that, you know, they could legitimately go for a cornerback, but their guard play, they do actually need a guard, and there was a guard here that I was very interested in. Give me one moment. And I think that he would actually fit pretty well. Buck Skull Gang says, how about Jordan from MIA? Jordan for the Bears? Tell me what you think of Buck Skull Gang. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Wyatt Davis, my bad. So Wyatt Davis, if you ask me, he has a pedigree, but there were some issues that I had with him. First of all, whenever it comes to Big Ten offensive linemen, I mean, they ballers, man. You know, if I'm drafting, first thing I'm gonna look for is a SEC or Big Ten offensive lineman. Now, there's times when you'll get somebody from, you know, just a random place. You know, they come in and they ball out, but those SEC and Big Ten guys, man, they're just good. So think about Davis, he does what he's supposed to do. He ain't finna blow you out, and he ain't finna blow you out the water. But they said he does have the ideal physical tools for a guard. Now, compared to me and you, he's strong now. He's a big boy. But you know, it's just one of those situations, man. It's just one of those situations. Yeah, so I'm legitimately thinking that for the Chicago Bears, I'm thinking I might go with J.C. Horn, because everybody else right now doesn't really fit what the Bears are actually kind of trying to do in this draft. So let's go ahead and go with J.C. Horn for the Chicago Bears, because, you know, they still need to replace Fuller. Brandon Griswold said, Hall of Fame? Definitely not. Now, Coach Ronnie said that I've seen so many discussions about if Fitzpatrick deserves to make it to the Hall of Fame. I mean, what y'all think? Y'all think Ryan Fitzpatrick deserves to make it to the Hall of Fame? If y'all do, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. So I tell you what, if he comes in, he balls out, and he goes to NFC Championship this year, and he's in let's say he's in the MVP race. You know, monkeys do fall out of trees sometimes. If you think Ryan Fitzpatrick would deserve to be considered or make the Hall of Fame, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like he doesn't, put a 2 in the chat. Oh, okay. Bucks Skull Gang said Jordan, the tight end for the Washington football team. Ah, man. I definitely think they do need a tight end, but I think that's one of those things that they might be able to kind of wait on in the meantime, because, you know, in this draft, you don't have that many first round tight ends. You could definitely get a good one second, third, fourth round. You know, man, Ryan Fitzpatrick ain't getting no kind of love. Oh, man. Now, for the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm just going to read the results here. Ronnie said 2. Buck Skull Gang in the house said 2. James Williams said 2. So nobody's thinking that Ryan Fitzpatrick is able to do anything as far as getting to the Hall of Fame. He's had a good career now. Don't get me wrong, he had a good career, but I don't know if it's to the point where you know, he can make the Hall of Fame run. Even if you know, if he won the Super Bowl, maybe they can consider it, but you can't get somebody to the Hall of Fame just because they've been around for a long time, you know. Now, the Indianapolis Colts, they're on the board, and we know that they brought back T.Y. Hilton. You know, we know that they brought back T.Y. Hilton. Yeah, exactly, Bucks. Exactly. Like he's been good and everything, but he hasn't. Come on. He hadn't took that step yet, you know. So the Colts brought back T.Y. Hilton. We know that they got Michael Pittman and all these guys. Michael Pittman won't give your boy Carson Wentz his jersey number. Carson Wentz mess around and wears number 2, same number that Jalen Hurts wears. It's a soap opera with Carson Wentz. It's a soap opera. So moving forward, we know that the Colts have this great offensive line, you know, and they're going to build off of that offensive line, and they're building from the inside to the outside, kind of like the Bucs did to help them get this Super Bowl this year. They built from the inside to the outside. It got worse throughout the season, and then, you know, they went out and got Gronk, they got AB, you know, and moving forward, they just took a whole nother step. Paris Campbell is their slot guy. T.Y. Hilton, he's not the same guy that he used to be. He's still a baller, but he's not the same guy that he used to be. Now, Grover Stewart, you know, the Colts defense, they balled out last year, and I think that they could get even better. Now, is it one of those cases where I think offensively, I think they're good. I think the Colts are good offensively. Now, defensively, I think that they need to make some pickups. Now, Christian Barmore is still on the board, and this is what I say all the time when I talk about players building identities. I mean, not players, but teams building identities. The Colts are trying to change their identity ever since, you know, Peyton Manning left, and, you know, Andrew Luck just decided that he didn't want to play football anymore. The Colts kind of changed the look of that team. They used to be the pretty ball flying through the air team, you know, that would just run you out the gym. Now it's like, you know, they built that offensive line, and, you know, they just kind of balling out. So Christian Barmore seems like he would really fit that identity. He's still on the board. I think that we're going to go with Christian Barmore for the Colts. Oh, I mean, that AJ Evans said, well, do I think Morrig will replace Hooper? I mean, not Hooper, but Hooker. Hey, I mean, you do got a point there now. You do got a point. But yeah, I think that they're trying to actually just get tougher up front. You know, Coach Ron said Fitzpatrick will have to be happy just being smart. Oh, AJ Evans says one top 30 all time in passing stats and will pass Donovan McNabb. He is mean, but he has been a solid quarterback on god awful teams. I mean, yeah, I definitely understand. I agree with you on that. He's been a good quarterback on some bad teams. He's also been a bad quarterback on bad teams too, though. You know, so we have to consider that, you know, even though he's put up some stats, today's NFL isn't like the NFL 20 and 30 years ago. So, you know, if those guys would have been if Jeff George would have been throwing 150 more passing attempts every season, his numbers would have been inflated as well. You know, back then, running backs went in the first round, you know, they were passing out running backs like candy in the first round back in the day. You know, that's not really the case anymore. So, you know, the importance on the quarterback and the quarterback's right arm is higher than it's ever been, and quarterbacks just throw the ball just so much more today. And, you know, it's become a scoring league. So, you know, we can't really go off of the stats. Can't really go off the stats of this one, Bo. All right, so the Titans are on the board. And we know that they got rid of Corey Davis. You know, and the offensive line also needs some help. You know, you can always work on the offensive line. You can always do something with the offensive line. Got to have somebody to block for Derrick Henry. Now, let's take a look at this Titans lineup. Now, I also know that the Titans have had some issues. The at that edge position as well, because over the years, you know, they've been trying to get people to come in and, you know, get to the passer. They've had some issues with it. That's why they signed Vic Beasley last year. That's why they signed Jadeveon Clowney, you know, and other players. That they just haven't been able to get to the quarterback the way that they need to. Now, we know that they did get, and look, you got, so on the left end, you got Tyquan Lewis, and on the right end, you got Kimbo Toure. I mean, and, you know, like, they're good players, but, you know, you're trying to take that next step. You're trying to get to a whole nother level. So while you're trying to get to another level, I mean, I honestly think that your boy Jalen Phillips will fit pretty well for that Tennessee Titans squad. Now, we do see here. What am I talking about? I thought I picked. Okay. What am I? Okay, give me one moment, y'all. I'm sitting here talking. The Tennessee Titans. Yeah, because the Tennessee Titans, they picked up your boy Vic Beasley. They say no, Vic Beasley didn't work, and I chose the Colts. I was like, wait a minute. Let me go back to the Titans, y'all. I thought I picked the Titans. But yeah, you got to make sure that you could get to the quarterback, because if you don't get to the quarterback, you're just gonna get eaten alive in today's NFL. And in today's NFL, it's one of those situations where even if you do get to the quarterback, they run all these pick plays and everything. It don't even make no difference. All right, so here we go. Jeffrey Simmons. Why in the world I was looking? Okay, so they have Jeffrey Simmons and Danico Autry. Okay, so they are running the 3-4 defense. Now, AJ Brown, Josh Reynolds is running that wide receiver position, and Cameron Batson. So, I mean, they do have a few positions of need. Jonnu Smith, he's going to the New England Patriots. You know, and whenever he went, he actually took a lot of speed and athleticism, and he's a tight end that could block very well. He's a total package. He's probably my favorite tight end in the league right now. You know, I got Nicked and took him very early in my fantasy draft last year. But thing is that, you know, they need to get to the quarterback. They're running that 3-4 defense. I'm honestly thinking and I don't know if I'm getting naked for this guy or not, but I just love this kid. Y'all heard me talking on my show. I think it was a couple of days ago that I have like a new favorite kid as my favorite guy right now, and it's this kid right here, man, Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. Boy, this is, oh my goodness, this kid looked like he could be a beast. He's looking like he could be a beast. I actually watched some of his film just the other day, and I mean, the size and the speed that he has, I mean, it is he's a dog. In the country, they always say who dog that is. We don't ask, hey, whose dog is that? We always say who dog that is. We see a dog, we don't know who it is. We say who dog that is, and that's what I'm asking about. Zaven Collins, who dog that is, because he is definitely a dog. You know, it's one of those situations, man, where I think that he's going to go in the first round, and he's probably going to go earlier than this. Now, he's definitely a 3-4. He's definitely a 3-4 linebacker, 3-4 outside linebacker with that size. And I think that he has the ability to get to the quarterback very well. Now, you know, they're saying that, and the Titans definitely do need a wide receiver because, you want to make sure that you give Tannehill, what do I always say, guys, all the things you need and some of the things you want. Now, Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss, I mean, you see, he really hasn't been at the top of the boards, but I'm gonna tell you something, Bo. You talk about somebody that could fly, he can pick him up and put him down. Now, two of the quarterback's best friends, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna say three of the quarterback's best friends are running back that catch out of the backfield, tight end, and a slot wide receiver. This guy has a perfect size to be a good slot wide receiver for you. Adam Humphries left, and to be completely honest with you, Elijah Moore and Rondale Moore, these two guys, they're my two favorite slot wide receivers in this draft. Now, I honestly think that Rondale Moore might go to a different team in the first round, but I'm thinking that Elijah Moore would actually go to the Titans in this particular situation because, like I said, in that slot, they got Cameron Batson running that slot for him. So, yeah, I definitely think that Elijah Moore could go to the Titans in this particular situation. So let's go ahead and run that. Albert Smith, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? I'm just sitting, chilling out, drinking some good old water, staying well hydrated. Y'all know how we do. What's going on, Kevin? Yeah, man. So, the Jets are on the clock. So we know that the Jets, they actually took the quarterback and Zach Wilson with the second pick. Now, moving forward, it's one of those cases where the Jets, they're another one of those teams that just got a whole bunch of holes to fill. So the Jets are literally in one of those situations where they're a best player available kind of team, to be completely honest with you. They're a best player available kind of team. Now, we look at this Jets lineup, and, they did take Tevin Coleman, little Tevin Coleman. Is Tevin Coleman the kind of guy that's going to be is he the kind of guy that's going to be a number one running back? I don't know about that. We know that Tevin Coleman, he's a speedster. He puts his foot in the front, he put his foot in the ground and go. Now, I'm honestly thinking that with this defense that the Jets running that 3-4 defense and everything, look, I'm not mad at Carl Lawson, Sheldon Rankins, and Quentin Williams running your DTs. Vinny Curry, he's a little bit long in the tooth. Yeah, you're right, Asia. Yeah, Tevin, he was injured a lot in San Francisco, and he was actually injured a little bit with the Falcons as well. Now, as I said, they have a lot of holes that they need to fill, and it's basically a best player available kind of situation. Now, look, Moore, he's still on the board. He's falling like a rock. And I had a idea of the team that he would actually go to as well, because we always talk about those teams with needs with identities. But man, this whole situation for the Jets, I'm thinking that the Jets might go out and get Jalen Phillips. I think Jalen Phillips might be a good fit for the Jets. Predominantly because just looking at Kwity Paye, he's just a little bit. And you know what? It's like the Jets, they do like they like them beefy defensive linemen. But we know that in the NFL, speed comes down to it. And I heard and I'm not quite sure, but I heard that Jalen Phillips might be just a little bit more athletic than Quiddy. I'm not sure. Now, you know what? I'm gonna say Quiddy Payne's gonna go to the Jets. The reason I say that is because he has really good hands. He can really get back to the quarterback very well. What's going on, Space Spear? I see you in here, man. Agent Green said, "What's Quiddy Payne's position? He's an edge rusher, so he's trying to get to the quarterback off the edge. That's his job. Every now and then they'll drop him back, but he's an edge guy. And Jason Awa, he's a little bit smaller, and I'm pretty sure he has a good bit more bend too after watching him play. But yeah, I think that I think Quiddy Payne might go to him. Now, right now we're on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers, they're one of those interesting teams. Now, Steelers, they're another one of those teams that have an identity. Agent Green said, "Dang, we need an edge rusher." Well, with Michael Parsons being a linebacker and that 3-4 defense, he could legitimately be rushing off the edge for us. Probably more than times where he would actually be in coverage. It's all about what Dean Pease tries to do moving forward to get pressure on that quarterback. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a situational situational thing. Now, looking at this Pittsburgh Steelers team, on offense, I think the Steelers are pretty much good to go. They could definitely, ever since Bud Dupree left, that strong side linebacker, Alex Highsmith, I think that they're going to need depth there. And I think that the guy to give them that depth, Cinco Mo said, "Coach Low down on duty. What in the world, Bo?" What's going on with you, Bo? I hope you're doing good, fam. I think that the person that's going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers that depth is Mr. Zaven Collins. I think he's my new favorite player in this draft. Love Zaven Collins. I think he's going to be very successful in the NFL, and he fits perfectly in that Steelers defense. Now, Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock again. We know that they've already resolved their quarterback situation. Now, they're another team, kind of best player available kind of team. Now, Morick is still on the board. Jewel Bell, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, Jewel? I know that. Are you dancing in that baby pool full of baby oil, Jewel? Thinking about your boy Justin Fields. Unfortunately, in this mock draft, he didn't make it to the Falcons. Whenever he didn't make it, I knew that wherever you were at, you just shed a tear. Oh, man. Agent Green said the Steelers are in need of defensive players. Yes. They definitely need some help on the defense. Now, I could definitely see the Jaguars trying to get look, I think that they think Chenault is their secret weapon. Now, they need a tight end. The Jaguars do need a tight end. They're happy with James Robinson and Carlos Hyde. That's a really good 1-2 punch. Very underrated 1-2 punch. We know that C.J. Henderson didn't show up and ball out like they thought he was going to show up and ball out last year. Now, as far as safety, I think Morick would be an upgrade. I know that they got Shaquille Griffin. What's going on, Derek? Derek said, "Do you think we would trade our 4th overall pick?" I think we would, to be completely honest with you. Especially after this trade that we had, that we witnessed yesterday. I think that the Falcons would trade that 4th pick. All of those top 3 quarterbacks, they're going off the board. Devon, what in the world, Bo? What's good with your family? Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I think that the Falcons would trade that fourth pick. And basically, I'm just going back and showing everybody. So what we did was, since the 49ers tried to trade up with the Jets to get that second pick, I heard that the Jets don't want to trade it because they want Zach Wilson. So everybody that I've been hearing, y'all know I got the 49ers connections. I'm hearing that the 49ers are taking Justin Fields. That's pretty much like a foregone conclusion. So, we didn't set it up, so we're trading down because right now this is our first first round mock draft for the whole NFL. So we didn't do any trades. But I definitely think that it's one of those cases where, we could definitely trade down, to the 9th pick, to the Broncos, or actually the 15th pick. Now, moving forward though, guys, it's like since those top 3 picks are quarterbacks, unless someone is just absolutely crazy and getting naked for Trey Lance, be honest, guys, why would you trade up? If the player that I want is not going to be there, why even try to give up my assets to get them? You ain't finna go to the store if you know that the J's that you want ain't even there. You know what I'm saying? So it may be one of those cases like Jewel Bell is saying. The Falcons won't trade. The Falcons won't trade. Oh, he's saying the Falcons won't trade Trey Lance away. So Jewel literally got naked for Justin Fields, put his clothes back on, and then got naked again for Trey Lance. What in the world, Bo? What in the world, Bo? What's going on with that, man? Now, so right now, we're at the 25th pick with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and like I was saying, I think this is when Moore comes off the board. Now, we know that the Jags need a tight end, but there's not any tight ends that I see that I would actually trade. That I would actually draft in this first round. I could legitimately get that tight end in the second round, or I could just trade up earlier in the second round to get that tight end. So Jacksonville Jaguars, y'all are getting Trevon Moehrig. Congratulations. All right, so Cleveland Browns, this is another interesting team. Now, we know that they went out and they got Takk McKinley. It's one of those situations where Takk, he has the physical attributes, but we don't know if he's there mentally or not, right? So since we don't know if he's there mentally, question is, what will the Cleveland Browns do? Do they trust Takk McKinley to be the guy in Cleveland? Because you got to think about it. This is one of those situations, guys, where AJ Evans says, I can confirm that the Panthers will go butt naked. Oh, James Williams says, surprise, surprise, surprise. 49ers take Mac Jones. Oh, man. Now, look, every year, the Browns, they're trying to make Baker Mayfield their guy. So they're trying to legitimately come up with an excuse to keep Baker Mayfield. Now, I don't know if it's the right decision or not. I can't tell the future. If I did, I'd be rich. But first of all, we don't know if Odell's going to be there long term, right? Now, I don't trust this right here. I don't trust Takk as being the guy to work opposite of Myles Garrett. Sheldon Richardson, that's a heck of a combination. Look, the Cleveland Browns rush defense was a beast last year. Now, they could definitely get back. They could definitely get back to the quarterback a lot better. Now, one thing to help them do that is if they got a Myles Garrett who is I'll put it like this, a less athletic Myles Garrett, or they could go a little bit smaller, kind of like they're doing with Tag, and look at somebody like an Azeez Ojulari. You know, he's a heck of a player. This thing will load up for us. AJ Evans says it's either send the house for a pick or trade another handful for Watson and take his accusations. I mean, that's a lot to take on, both. And Asia Green, she had a question for y'all. She said, do y'all think we should trade our 4th pick with another team? I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question. Now, the reason why I'm considering the Cleveland Browns taking Ojulari is because, you know, he's a smaller guy, 6'3", 240. He's a speed guy. But, you know, if you look at this roster, first of all, Sheldon Richardson, you know, he's going to do his job. We know Myles Garrett, he's going to take a lot of attention. Malik Jackson, he's a serviceable D tackle. So basically, this is the perfect situation for Tad McKinley. I don't know if it's just my heart's in the situation. I don't know what it is, but you know, be completely honest with y'all, I don't know if the Cleveland Browns believe in Tad that much. I don't remember how much money they paid him, you know, to play that you know, that right end position, but I just don't know if he's the legitimate guy. I don't know that, man. That's a good question. Now, I'm going to tell you, Jason Awa, 6'5", 252. He was a guy that I was really considering that I think could really fit in well with this Cleveland Browns team. And, you know, he has the physical attributes. So let's just go ahead and get him because, I mean, basically Cleveland Browns right now, a lot of people don't realize how good their roster is. Buck Skull Gang said that, surprise, surprise, our running backs are still on the board. Yeah. And that's crazy, man. That's crazy. All the running backs are still on the board. You know, Edwards-Helaire, he went last year to the Chiefs. You know, a lot of people think he may have been the best running back in the draft class last year. You know, running backs, they just don't really go off the board like that, man. Now, yeah, I'm thinking Jason Awa. I think we're going to go ahead and send him to the Cleveland Browns. See how that unfolds. Now, this is an interesting situation because it's obvious that the Baltimore Ravens need a wide receiver, guys. It's obvious that they need a wide receiver. Seagull Mosa, hey, Coach Low, how does Jay in the Bay feel about his squad trading up for 3? Does he feel like Jimmy G is still his quarterback? It's Terrell Owens' voice. Man, I don't know, man. I need to check on my boy Jay in the Bay, man, because to be completely honest with you, bro, I don't know. I think that it might be one of those cases where Jay might be seeing the light. I don't think he'll be mad at getting Justin Fields, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he'll be mad at it at all. I'm going to have to check with old Jay when I get a chance. All right, man. So, yeah. In my mind, I think this is kind of a no-brainer, guys. Fact of the matter is that Baltimore Ravens team is stacked. Y'all see this. Y'all see this. This kid, he's a beast. He's a beast. Rare ability with the ball in his hand. Some might say generational. No, we throw that number out. We throw that word out there a lot. Generational. People love to use generational talent. Elite acceleration. uses it well to vary speeds along routes too, and that's what you love to see as a coach. You know, whenever you have guys, look, there's so many guys in the NFL that are fast, but you know the difference between those guys and a Julio Jones, between a Mike Evans, who just high points the ball so well, between all these guys, a Keenan Allen, they know how to vary their speeds. They have different shifts. They can shift gears and they can vary their speeds well. And I think that this is what Tony could do. Darius Toney, he's a good wide receiver. And look, when it comes to taking care of quarterbacks, it's about giving them all the things they need, some of the things they want. And look, they've been giving Lamar Jackson all the things that he needed. Let's give him something that he wants. He needs a wide receiver. Welcome to the Baltimore Ravens. Darius Toney, welcome. Enjoy yourself. Oh boy, these Saints. I just want to give the Saints the worst player on the board, to be completely honest with you. Agent said, do we need a running back this early though? I mean, you know what? I'm not sure. Devon Stanford said Cleveland isn't at all in on Tack. He's just there for depth at best. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And James Williams said definitely trade that number 4 pick. definitely. Now, look, I got an issue, guys. I'm trying to take my heart out of this situation with the Saints. So y'all tell me, who do y'all think the Saints should take with the 28th pick in the draft? I just want to know what y'all think. Who do y'all think the Saints should take? Because I don't want to sit here and make a bad decision, and all the Saints fans be like, "Man, Lowe, you ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't right for doing us like that, Coach Lowe. No, Coach Lowe, you ain't right for doing us like that, Coach Lowe." So who do y'all think that the Falcons should take? Or the Falcons, what in the world? That the Saints should take in this draft? Cinco Mose, he thinking they should take a linebacker. Coach Ronnie said the Saints should take an L, not a player. Y'all ain't right, man. Y'all ain't right. Coach Ada says she thinks that the Saints should take a defensive tackle. Okay. Loving all the suggestions. Let's take a look at the Saints roster. Now we know that the Saints, and look, Buck Skull Gang, he just told us that. He just told us that your boy Lattimore, he's probably gonna get suspended for buying stolen property. Now, we do know that they do need a linebacker because they let their linebacker go. Wow, you see this? They got Jameis Winston listed as a starter on the depth chart. James Williams said, give them a kicker. Oh, man. AJ Evans said they should get Kenny from the concession stand. Devon Stanford said a quarterback. Y'all ain't right. Coach Rona said she think they should get a quarterback too. So I know that they gave Taysom Hill that large contract, and we know that it's not worth the paper it's written on to a certain extent. But Jameis Winston, he's there. Y'all know what I think about Jameis. AJ Evans said he's thinking Bolton, and that's kind of where I'm leaning as well. Let's just take a look at Bolton while we on here. Michael Bolton, younger brother of I mean, Nick Bolton, younger brother of Michael Bolton. Oh, man, they say he's a brick wall. 6 foot, 232. Processing speed is elite. Sees the game exactly how you want a linebacker to see it. Plays downhill and isn't scared of attack. Trust his reads. Definitely makes plays in coverage despite average physical tools. So, you know, has good instincts, knows the game, reads the game like a linebacker should read it. I mean, that's what they need there. You know, I would love to give them a kicker, but that's definitely what they need there. So let's go ahead and give them Michael Bolton. I'm sorry, Nick Bolton. I don't know why I keep saying Michael Bolton. Probably because Michael Bolton's his brother. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking. A lot of y'all don't even know who Michael Bolton is. Let me ask Asia. Hey, Asia, who is Michael Bolton? And don't Google it. Who is Michael Bolton, Asia? Oh, man. While she's putting that up, the Packers are on the board. And probably one of my favorite wide receivers in this draft is probably the person who I'm leaning towards when it comes to the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, and how they're going to handle their situation. Let's see here. Yeah, they let Quan go. Yeah, Quan, he's gone. So Rondale Moore and the Green Bay Packers seems like a match made in heaven. Let me ask y'all this question. Eddie Green said, I never heard of him. She never heard of Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton is the best over singer that you've never heard of. Ooh, wow. Michael Bolton is the best over singer that you whenever you get a chance, you need to go to YouTube, listen to some Michael Bolton songs. The most soulful white singer that you never heard of. She's too young for that, Coach. She's too young for that. Oh, man. So this kid, Rondale Moore, love this kid, man. Love this kid. So in his workouts, he had a 42-inch vertical, 4.29 40-yard dash. 4.29 40-yard dash. Man, I love this kid. Whenever Aaron Rodgers was his most successful, Randall Cobb was at his peak. Around the same size, had the same athleticism. Thing is that Randall Cobb knew how to read those defenses because he was a quarterback in college. Now, from scouting him and looking at what I seen, this kid, I seen him run some option routes, and he made the correct route read. So I'm thinking maybe the Green Bay Packers will finally go ahead and draft that wide receiver this year. And it's not a sexy name, like a Devontae Smith or, you know, like a Kadarius Toney or anybody like that, like a Michael Bateman. But this kid, I really like this kid. Whenever y'all get a chance, y'all need to check out his film. He's really, really good player. So, Rondale Moore, welcome to the Packers. All right. Buffalo Bills. Now, we know that their offensive line is looking pretty good. You know, they do need some help on the defensive side of the ball. And I really like what the Buffalo Bills do at wide receiver. You know, Stephon Diggs, he eats. He gets what he gets. And, you know, everybody else just kind of fall in line, but nobody's just out there getting checked. You know, Josh Allen makes some real good reads, and he throws to open guys. Now they got Emmanuel Sanders and Cole Beasley. We all know Cole Beasley from the Cowboys. Dawson Knox, who was kind of slept on last year. But they do need some help. Ed Oliver needs some help down there. He needs some help down there. So let's take a look, see who's available. Now, Jalen Phillips is still on the board. They could also use some help at cornerback as well, because I know that they do still have Tre'Davious White, and they also have Micah Hyde playing that safety position back there. Now, who y'all thinking that the Buffalo Bills should take? I'm thinking that they should move in a direction of getting some help on that defensive line. I'm thinking that they should get Mr. Jalen Phillips. That's what I'm thinking. What y'all thinking? What direction are y'all leaning towards? Brandon Griswold said, "Oh yeah, Rondell Moore. Oh yeah, he's gonna be a problem." You heard it here from Coach Lowe. Everybody out there, look, we know over the last few weeks, Coach Lowe been throwing these names out here. All of a sudden, other people, they've been getting naked, taking the same names. Taking the same names that Coach Lowe been using, don't know nothing about those players. As a matter of fact, there have been some players that people have said that they've seen playing games last year, and I'm not going to say who those players were because I want them to keep thinking that those players played in games last year and they didn't even play. But they're like, man, whatever they played against my team last year, they just ate us alive. I'm like, wait a minute, Bo. You ain't doing your research. You ain't doing your research, Bo. Oh man. Cinco Mo says, I heard that Phillips has red flags. Yeah, I know it. And that's one of the reasons why I think that he's been dropping. I think that's the reason why he's been dropping in this draft. Because I've heard that he's had some red flags too. Now, look, I mean, Michael Parsons, he has red flags, but it's like whenever I was looking at the position that the Falcons were at, and all the other players up under him, I was like, well, dang, there's nobody else that I would want to take this high up. Brandon Griswold says, hey man, where you gonna get my man Asante Samuel Jr. going? I don't know. This might be the move right here, Coach. This might be the move. I ain't gonna tell y'all where I'm headed to, but this might be the move. You never know, Bo. You never know. Cinco Mo said, Asia said, "Oh, y'all know a lot more players than me." Yeah, look, Asia, we all learning together. So, it's one of those situations. That's why we part of the coaching staff, So, y'all just, anybody has any opinions to chime in or anything, we all consider it together. That's what it's all about. So AJ, he's saying that he's thinking Phillips, and I'm thinking Phillips too. I'm thinking that he's definitely an elite. Well, I'm not going to say elite. He's a good option. We don't know what he's going to be capable of in the NFL, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I seen that he might be kind of iffy with that injury history and everything like that. So, yeah. So let's go ahead, get Jalen Phillips going to the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia, welcome Jalen Phillips. Oh man! All right. Chiefs on the board, and we know if Chiefs need anything, the Chiefs need some help on the offensive line. Now they did get one offensive lineman on one tackle to help them out because, as y'all know, they let both of their tackles go whenever free agency hit. So we know that the Chiefs definitely need some help on that offensive line. We've seen what happened to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. We've seen what happened to him in the Super Bowl. Now, moving forward, you see that they got Joe Thurney and Kyle Long. They need to tackle. And Looks like they need some help on that defense as well. But they definitely need to tackle. Now, Dylan Radins, I think that's the best option. Now, Samuel Cosme, I really like him. The only issue that I have with him is that he's a little bit tall. He's a little bit too tall for me and a little bit too skinny. So, whenever you 6'7" like that, you just 309. Now, look, he still might put on some of his grown man weight, but, it kind of depends on his technique. And they said that that's one of his biggest weaknesses, his technique in those pass sets. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's very flexible, very athletic, but, you still have to, at the end of the day, it's all about one man moving another man against his will. So, yeah, I think that Radins is going to be the guy that's going to be going to the Chiefs. All right. Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you are on the clock. And, before we take this pick for the Bucs, we can see here, and like I said, guys, we're just kicking things around. Now, there's a lot of great players that are still on the board. So, out of all these players on the board, y'all let me know who is someone that you think that fell that should have been taken off of the board. Like, who is somebody who should have been gone off the board. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are still on here. Carlos Basham. I'm hoping that the Falcons could get him. I'm hoping that the Falcons could get him in the second round. All right, the Bucs, they're giving us their pick. They said the Bucs, is that ETN? You thinking the Bucs gonna take Travis Etienne? With their first pick, y'all would take Etienne over Harris? I mean, look, that is a home run threat. I don't think Rojo is that much a home run threat. I don't think Fournette. I mean, they definitely could be, but who are the Bucs thinking about taking a Bucs Skull Gang in the house? What y'all thinking that y'all might take with that first pick if y'all don't trade up? Because I could definitely see Mac Jones going to the Bucs. Once you get a good thing, you want to keep a good thing. You don't want to go back to the struggle bus of not having a good quarterback. You don't want to go back to that. Ghost Pepper said, Pat Mahomes making $50 million. KC better protect their investment. Oh, man, they better protect that investment, Bo. So, Bucs Skull Gang, he's putting it out there. He's saying that he thinks that the Bucs should take either ETN or he thinks they should take Williams from North Carolina. So, out of the two, we know what Travis Etienne done in Clemson. We all know what Travis Etienne done in Clemson. He's definitely a burst kind of guy. Now, they said that he's not that well at moving laterally. He's a big play guy. Crazy acceleration. Let's look at the cons. He said gets caught looking for the bounce out. That won't fly in the NFL. Asked Todd Gurley that this past season. Rushing numbers took a big hit when the Clemson O-line fell off in 2020. Not take it there kind of back. Not going to grind it out for short gains. Hadn't had a big game with 20 plus carries since 2018. So it sounds like that's kind of iffy, Bo. That's kind of iffy. Now, he did say that he reinvented himself as a legit weapon in a passing game as a senior. Burst from standstill is very different from every other back in this class. Contact balance for days. Barely loses speed on arm tackles. Home run waiting to happen. So it sounds like ETN is one of those guys, who he's one of those weapons guys. He sounds like he's kind of like a less agile Reggie Bush guy. Because Reggie Bush, he could move laterally as well. But when it came to just running, if I call, 21 belly, 21 ISO, Reggie Bush wasn't that guy. He wasn't that guy. Bucks Gold Game said that people compare him to Nick Chubb. And Asia, she got a point. She said that, look, Mac Jones, he might get snatched up early in that first round. We know that, once the position starts going, everybody else start going too. So, now the other option that Bucks Skull Gang was going with was Javonte Williams. Now we know that he's more of a pure runner, violent running style. Runs hard as can be, chooses violence, ridiculously good balance, stays on his feet after some big hits. The single most elusive season we've ever graded in 2020. Wow, single most elusive season that we ever graded in 2020. Ideal running back with tremendous burst. They said that he could be a one-year wonder, though. Production was in a timeshare. 3 drops on 27 catchable passes. Not great ball skills. Disappeared against the best against the best defense they faced in Notre Dame. Long speed doesn't match the burst. So he could get going, but once he throw that head back, somebody might catch him. So I'm thinking, and coaching staff, y'all feel free to help me out now. I tell you what, who do y'all think the Bucks, the championship Bucks, should draft with their first pick in the draft? Cinco Mo said, nah, ETN ain't Chubb. He's more like an Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Now, I don't think people sleep on Kamara as far as his strengths, like his core strength. Like he's the truth. He's the truth. Sometimes I wonder. I think to myself, I wonder if Alabama ever regrets letting him go. Bucks Gold Gang said ETN is his pick, so we're gonna go ahead and take ETN for the Bucks. All right, so they're grading this draft. Oh, I got an F over there for the Dolphins. So you want to show everybody what we got. James Williams said the Bucks could use a kicker too. So Trevor Lawrence, he went first. Zach Wilson, second. Justin Fields, third. I'm sorry, Jewel Bell. I apologize. Michael Parsons went to the Falcons. Penei Sewell went to the Bengals. I felt like, look, the Dolphins and look, and for everybody that's on here now, Coach Ronnie said this a few minutes right before I started. She said that, look, guys, but she told me, she said, look, Lo, I think that the Dolphins are massing all these picks so they can make a trade for Deshaun Watson. That's what she told me. Usually when she says stuff like this, when she sounds confident like that, she's normally right. Devon Stanford said, so we took Parsons. Oh, well. Look, like I said, in my opinion, I would prefer to trade. And whenever you say we, for everyone else that's watching, who will watch this later, we're Falcons fans. I'm pretty sure you can see by the shirt. But I would prefer to trade back Devon. But I think it's one of those cases where, what we did was we just did the draft without any trades, and I didn't think we needed Sewell because we already have 2 tackles. You got Gono, he's going to be playing the left guard. You got Chris Lindstrom playing the right guard. Hennessy's supposed to be playing the center. I feel like it's sexy to say Sewell. And you watch those highlights. I'm pretty sure almost every Falcons fan has watched his highlights. I mean, it's sexy, but I don't think that we need him. We need some defense. That's what we need. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, and then I see that I got an F for Rashawn Slater going to the Dolphins. Okay, Jamar Chase. To the Lions. Look, Kenny Galladay's gone. Jalen Waddle going to the Panthers. I think Matt Rule will do some nice things with Waddle. I think that the Broncos, soon they're going to be moving on from Von Miller. I think he's been indicted here previously. He's been doing some, well, I'm not going to say, he's been accused of some illegal activity. Patrick Surtain to the Cowboys. I already know Virginia Tech all day. I mean, Virginia Tech, I'm thinking about Farley. Alabama, paid by Bama. You know how they do. I'm thinking about Darisaw going to the Giants. Virginia Tech all day. Y'all already know. Devontae Smith went to the Eagles. They needed some weapons. Tevin Jenkins went to the Chargers. Somebody to protect Justin Herbert. Tackle started going very high. Gregory Rousseau, he went to the Vikings. They needed some pass rushing. Yeah, they hate no Slater. Ain't they Ghost? I don't know why they don't like Slater that much. Now, this one right here, Trey Lance to the Patriots. I was caught in between. I was stuck because Trey Lance could have legitimately, it could have been Trey Lance or it could have been Mac Jones. So my opinion was that Mac Jones, basically my opinion was, look, we know how Bill Belichick is. He's a process guy. They've already running this offense right now with Cam Newton. If you bring in Trey Lance, he'll be that guy that he can run an offense similar to what Cam Newton runs whenever, the quarterback powers and things like that. And, it would be crazy. Now, moving forward, as far as the Cardinals, Kyle Pitts, he just kept falling. And the Cardinals, they pushing all their chips to the middle of the table. Rice's Angel says that they love that pick for the Cardinals. And I think that, why not? Why not? You got Newt, you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Christian Kirk, you got AJ Green. Why not get you a baller tight end to come in here and play some ball? AJ Green said the Falcons still need a backup QB. I think it might be Kellen Mond, AJ. It might be Kelly. You never know. Or it might be Kyle Trask. Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech. Went to the Raiders. I was kind of stuck on this one because I thought that, they may need some pass rush help. And they also need an offensive line because I don't know what John Gruden's doing out there in Vegas. Gruden, he got that gambling bug. I don't know what's going on. Cinco Bo said that is a Cardinals type move. If he falls to the Cardinals, he's going to the Cardinals. The question is he going to go somewhere else? Because, he could go to the Eagles. You never know. He legitimately could go to the Eagles. You know, the Eagles need a number one wide receiver. That's why I had them getting Devontae Smith. Now, Sean Bateman went to the Dolphins. You know, the Dolphins, it seems like they're kind of, my whole thought was, look, whenever you get a whole bunch of picks like this, you start to get frivolous. You start to get frivolous. Next thing you know, you start making those big splashes. And I felt like, Sean Bateman, it might be a guy that they're going to try to, put in there to make some big plays along with Tua. I think they're going to ride with Tua. If not, they're going to trade all these picks that they amassed for Deshaun Watson. Washington football team needs somebody to protect Ryan Fitzpatrick. Somebody in the comments says that Ryan Fitzpatrick is a potential Hall of Famer. So, everybody in the comments, y'all make sure that y'all give me your opinion on that. Do y'all think Ryan Fitzpatrick could be a Hall of Fame player in the future? If you think that Ryan Fitzpatrick could be a Hall of Famer, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like that's not the case, put a 2 in the chat. Devon Stanford says that I got a feeling that it could be either Kellen Mond or Trash. Anybody but Felipe Franks. That's rough, man. Agent Green says us having Lee Smith reminds me of when we used to have Toy Lolo because he was a blocking tight end. That's what I'm talking about, Asia. That's what I'm talking about. Break it down for them. Break it down for them. Give them something that they need to know. Devon said 2. Cinco Mo said no, coach. He lived on 1 Super Bowl. Then he joined Gruden. Agent Green said 2. Oh, man. I also have J.C. Horn going to the Bears. Fuller's gone. I know that those Bears have promising cornerbacks coming up, but we actually moved on and we went ahead and J.C. Horn, he went to the Bears. In my mind, I think he's the third best cornerback in here. A lot of people have J.C. Horn ranked number 1 or 2 because he has all the physical attributes. Now he's a beast. Christian Barmore going to the Colts. He just kept falling down the board. So I said, well, look, he got to go somewhere. The Colts are trying to change their identity. The Colts successfully changed their identity. There are teams who tried to do it and couldn't do it. We all heard the Hard Knocks the same year that Mike Smith got fired. Whenever he did his monologue, and he said, a lot of people say that the Falcons are soft, but we're going to show them that we're not soft. So moving forward, the Colts have shown us that they're not soft, and they're actually a team that's, doing some, they're making changes. They started off with their offensive line and Quentin Nelson, and moving forward, I think that this could be a good pick for them. Elijah Moore, wide receiver, going to the Titans. Good slot option for Tannehill. That along with Derrick Henry, a quarterback's best friends are a catching running back, tight end, and the slot wide receiver. Those are the 3 best friends. So I think that that this could definitely be an option. Somebody to put along with AJ Brown, who is definitely going to be a star in the NFL for many years to come. He wears number 11 for a reason. It ain't who you know, it's Julio. Shouts out to my homeboy Terror Artist 404. Oh man. Xavier Littman said, did Gurley get signed by anyone yet? Colgate said no, but I'm pretty sure all the people that the Bucks are signing down there in Tampa, they'll probably sign Ty Gurley too. Oh man. Coach Ronald said, oh, sorry, Toy Lolo. It make me mad when they would throw the ball to him. Guaranteed drop. He couldn't catch nothing. She could not stand Levine Toy Lolo. As a matter of fact, she would pronounce his name wrong on purpose to make it sound even worse. Like, why are you doing this? Quiddy Payne. We had Quiddy Payne going to the Jets. They're trying to rebuild that team. And I think that he could be a very good person coming off the edge and really help that defense. My favorite defensive player in this draft, after doing my research, I know sometimes I get caught up in the numbers and things like that, but I really think that people kind of sleep on Zaven Collins. They sleep on his techniques. He's a guy, he's big, he's fast, but just watching from the film that I watched, I could tell that he was well coached, and you can tell that he's really trying to put them techniques into effect. Question is he going to continue to do it and continue to work on his craft? And if the Steelers get him, I think that he's going to be better than Bud Dupree, to be completely honest with you. Trevon Moehrig going to the Jaguars. He fell pretty far as well. Jaguars, they're basically in a best player available situation. You're in best player available situations in two different cases. Whatever, you just got a loaded roster, and whenever you have a terrible roster. Now, the Jaguars, they made a lot of great moves, and I think that they could possibly, build things up to where they could get to 7-9, 8-8 next season, Oh, man. Cinco Bo said, Coach Ronald, he sure couldn't. Oh, man. Ivan Wins, what's going on with your fam? He said, 2. Fitz is what career backups wish they could be. Oh, man. Y'all are crazy. Cinco Mo said, old toilet bowl. Levine toilet bowl. Y'all are wrong, man. He was the tallest man in the NFL. Y'all are crazy. Now, I also had Jason Awa going to the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't know if my heart was in this situation because I know that Cleveland picked up Takk McKinley. Now, we know that Falcons fans have a hate relationship. It's not even a love-hate relationship with Takk McKinley. And basically, I'm thinking, I'm legitimately wondering, do they trust Takk McKinley? Everybody in the comments said that no, that the Browns don't trust Takk McKinley. They're getting him from death, and they're hoping that he might be able to catch lightning in the bottle, and maybe they could have a good problem. So I think that they're trying to get somebody to pair with Myles Garrett just in case Myles Garrett decides to take his helmet off and hit somebody. They're just trying to make sure that they have a contingency plan. Baltimore Ravens, they need a wide receiver. They got Hollywood out there, but they need somebody else to pair with them, somebody who's explosive that can make some big plays. I think J.K. Dobbins, he's going to take the next step. They kind of split things last year. This year coming up, if y'all play fantasy football, just go ahead and listen to me now. J.K. Dobbins, he's going to do very well. Running backs always do very good when it comes to pairing them with running quarterback. So if you got a quarterback that runs the ball a lot, it always opens things up a little bit more for your running back. Nick Bolton, it was tough for me to make this decision. I had to ask everybody for help because I had to take my heart out of the situation. Coach AJ, he suggested that we give the Saints Nick Bolton. He's a very, very good linebacker coming out of Missouri. We know that we love those Missouri linebackers ourselves here in Atlanta. They say he's very instinctive. He reads like a coach will want his linebacker to make reads. And, hopefully he has a very good career in the NFL. If it's with the Saints, I hope he doesn't. Rondale Moore, man, probably my favorite running back in this draft. Look, I say this all the time. When it comes to making content for YouTube, you got to do your research because you can't be telling people stuff that's not, that's not the legitimate truth. And, you can't just tell people stuff off of something that you heard somebody else say. I love this kid. I think that he could be a beast when it comes to working with the Green Bay Packers team is kind of, it's looking pretty good. They got a good squad going for him. Now, he's one of these guys. He's one of my personal favorites. There have been guys and there have been different people on YouTube who've heard me talk about certain players in the NFL draft. I'm not going to say who they were, but they'll mention players and they'll say, "Yeah, man, they played against my team. They just ate us alive," and he didn't even play last year. So for everybody that's listening to me, Rondale Moore, he's probably going to be a slot cornerback in the NFL, and he just blazing fast guy. And the question is, like I said, is he going to be able to ratchet that speed down and kick that speed back up and change directions well? That's the question. 4'2", 940, 42-inch vertical. Only question is, he runs not that he runs, he's 5'9". Oh my goodness. So look, we all know I ain't even gonna say that. Look, I think he's gonna be a very, very good wide receiver in the NFL. And if the Green Bay Packers get his hands on him, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Y'all, all I'm saying is y'all hope for the best. Because whenever your boy Aaron Rodgers had his hands on Randall Cobb, they were eating us alive. They were eating everybody alive. Ace Green said McKinley is bait money. They throw him out there. He fakes an injury, gets taken off the field, then they release him. Oh my goodness. Devon said Tack is going to be traded when Cleveland realizes his reduction isn't up to par. He'll be traded for a grand slam at Diddy. Y'all are crazy, man. Chico Bo, I already know this go. Chico Bo said Tack is going to do one bull rush, pull something, celebrating, then he's going to be out for 6 games. Y'all ain't right, man. Y'all ain't right. Oh, y'all gonna stop picking on Tack. Devon said, "You're right. Tack is gonna be traded for a Chick-fil-A meal." Oh man. Now Jalen Phillips going to the Buffalo Bills. I think that could be a good move as well. They need some edge rushing, and that it's one of those situations where Jalen Phillips, he could definitely do it. Now, he does have some issues with injuries. Let's be completely honest. Jalen Phillips has some issues with injuries. But hopefully, whenever you get to the NFL, you make a little bit more money, you can have a better chance to take care of your body. So, hopefully he could make some moves because, Josh Allen is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL today. Shouts out to Bills Mafia. Oh man, Dylan Radins. I just got him for the simple fact that the Chiefs need some help on the offensive line. It's definitely a preconceived notion that they need some help with this offensive line. He's a serviceable tackle. A lot of people knock him because he played at North Dakota State. North Dakota State's been putting out some pretty good NFL talent over the years. So. It's just one of those things, man. One of those things. I think that he could make some moves and, playing with Andy Reid and, that squad, I think that he could definitely do something special with the Kansas City Chiefs for years to come if he can stay healthy. And then my homeboy Buck Skull Gang from Tampa Bay, he chose Travis Etienne for the Bucks' first pick. And look, they said that just a quick scouting report that we did on him showed that he was one of those people who wait a minute. Devon Stanford said, "You're right, coach. My bad. You're right. I quit picking on Slack. I mean Tack. Y'all crazy. Travis Etienne. They say he had busted a 20-yard run in the game ever since 2018, but he has recreated himself as a pass catcher. So maybe he could be like a Deion Lewis type player. He has elite speed. He's a home run waiting to happen. So we can kind of see, but when it comes to running in between the tackles, he gets kind of iffy. So if he gets with the right team, with the right running backs coach, teaches him, you don't have to, break it to the outside all the time, because that's not going to work in the NFL. The NFL, a lot of these linebackers are just as fast as you, and they know how to work their ankles. So, you ain't playing against math majors no more. Oh, man. Y'all are crazy. Ghost Pepper said, get to the quarterback. Let's go. This is what Tack McKinley said. I'm telling you, if I don't get 10 sacks from Cleveland, I cut my dreads off again. Man, y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. I don't know what to say about y'all, man. I do not know what to say about y'all. So, y'all tell me how y'all feeling about this draft. Y'all, do y'all think that this draft is pretty accurate? Y'all think it's one of those cases where, Big Low might have jumped the gun on some of these players? Because I was trying to draft based on the needs of the teams, based on who I thought would be, based on who I thought would be available. Now, Buck Skull Gang, he says, who would you take at 32 if you was a GM? Now, if I were a GM and I knew that Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette were running it back with me, to be completely honest with you, I think I might take a run at Mac Jones, because you don't want to be in a situation where you don't have a quarterback, because we look at cases where like the Jets, look at cases like the Jaguars, who legitimately tried to make Gardner Minshew the guy. In the NFL nowadays, we got all these guys that are always coming into the league, and like they're just putting them in as a starting quarterbacks. But like, if you have a situation where you could let someone sit behind a Tom Brady, who I think is one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft, I would take Mac Jones, to be completely honest with you. I'm just respecting you, Buck Skull Gang, because you the Bucks fan. I'm just respecting you, Bo. Oh man. Devon said, only time will tell, coach. That's it. Only time will tell. Agent Green says, I feel like things are subject to change. I don't want to get overly excited, then we make a dumb decision or a dumb mistake. I understand that. Maurice Amy said, good evening, you guys. How the coach is doing? Late coming to see the show here. Ain't no problem, coach. I definitely appreciate you coming to chill out with us, man. Definitely. Cinco Mo said some moves could go down. I don't know about Parsons at 4. But hey, you never know. And I definitely agree with you, Cinco Mo. I don't know about Parsons at 4 either, to be completely honest with you. I think the only reason why everybody's going crazy over Sewell, because what other options do we have? I don't want to get a guy who, whenever we already have 2 tackles. And and maybe you could legitimately just go ahead and get Sewell and move on from Caleb McGarry, or move on from a Jake Matthews, But I'm just thinking that, if you already got 2 tackles, you're gonna have these guys here for the next year or two. Why go out and get this guy? I think everybody's getting caught up in the highlight. Everybody's getting caught up in the highlight, but we can't really We can't get naked. We can't get naked, Coach. We can't get naked. So, it's just one of those things at the end of the day, man. Now, there are a few things that I am worrying about or that I'm kind of iffy on. The Denver Broncos, I feel like they need a linebacker, and they need to try to figure out what they're going to do because we know Vaughn. I don't think Vaughn's going to be there for long term, and they just got to make a decision to see what direction they're going to head in the future. Same thing with the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers could look. We know that the Panthers are. We know that the Panthers are pursuing a quarterback very heavily, so it might not be Jalen Waddle. Maybe the Panthers go ahead and get Trey Lance. I mean, we don't know. Maybe the Panthers want that old thing back that they had with Cam, because the Panthers love Cam Newton. They just didn't love the injuries. Maurice Amy said Jake Matthews is losing it. He's losing it a little bit, so I say put him at left guard. I mean, that definitely could be an option. Thing is that if he's losing it, you want Jake Matthews running up the field, in that zone run blocking scheme. That's tough. That's tough, man. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. Father time waits for no man at the end of the day. So you got to make the moves that you can make, just not for today, but for long term. The Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, they told y'all, they said, look, man, we're trying to win today, and we're trying to win tomorrow. We just want to win. And I definitely hope that's the course of action that they plan on taking, man. I definitely do. Ooh, man. Well, look, man, I definitely appreciate everybody for chilling out with me. Going through this mock draft with me. Y'all know I just sit around and do stuff like this all the time. Much love to everybody. Thank y'all so much. And look, we probably gonna be doing another mock draft pretty soon. Up until the draft, we're about a month away from the draft now. So it's finna go down like there's a whale in the boat, bro. It's finna go down like there's a whale in the boat. I definitely appreciate everybody for commenting and everybody for chilling out with me. And wait a minute. Maurice said, you can write this in ink. It's going to be Safety Grant in the second round. Hey, you never know, bro. You never know. But yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody for chilling out with me tonight. Well, today. Much love to y'all. This is my message in a bottle for anybody who listens to this stream later. Make sure that you do a country boy a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure that you comment, because I reply to all comments. And make sure you do a country boy a favor and subscribe, man. I would definitely appreciate that. Definitely. Much love to y'all. Rise up, 8 times down, and y'all don't do nothing I would do. Y'all be easy, man.